Let's talk about the flat file export node. The flat file export node is located in the export palette. This node allows you to export data to a delimited text file. As an example, the flat file export node allows you to export all or some fields, including model predictions, to a program like Notepad, or any program that allows you to bring in delimited text files. Let's go through an example of how to use the flat file export node. So we're going to go down to the export palette and we're going to connect the type node to the flat file export node. Now before you export your data, you always want to have a type node so that way all of your new fields that you've created have been completely instantiated. We're going to edit the flat file export node. The flat file export node allows you to write data to a delimited text file. This is useful if you want to export that data so that it can be read by any kind of spreadsheet software. So the first thing we need to do is we have to specify the name of the export file. So we're going to click on the triple dots next to the export file box and we're going to specify the location of where we want to export our data. I'm going to put it on my desktop and the name of this new file is going to be example. I'll click on save. The next thing I have to do is I have to specify the write mode. I can either overwrite this example file if there happened to be a previous version, or I could append to the example file if there happened to be a previous version. I'm going to go with the overwrite, so it's going to create a whole new file. I'm also going to include the field names. Also, each new line is going to appear after each record. The field separator as a default is a comma, but you can choose something else. Symbol quotes, the default is double quotes, but you can choose something else as well. The default encoding system is the stream default, and then you can also specify your decimal system as well. Finally, you have the option to generate an import node for this data. I'm going to do that. I'll click on that option. This option automatically allows you to generate a variable file source node so that it can read the exported data file. So if you want to bring that data directly right back into Modeler, that's a nice option to select. At this point, I'm going to click on Run. And I've just ran my data. You can see the variable file source node that I've just created as well. Now let's just go back and let's look at a couple of other options that are available as well. So I'm going to edit the flat file export node. It's called example now. And I'm going to click on the Publish tab. Publishing streams is done directly within Modeler using any of the standard export nodes. So you'd have the same options if you were using the statistics file export node, the SAS export node, the Excel export node, etc. So the first thing you need to do is you have to specify the root name of the published files. The default is called publish. And as a default, you're going to end up creating an image file that's going to provide all the information needed for the runtime to execute the published stream exactly the way it was at the time of the export. You also have the parameter file. That's going to contain all the information about the data sources, the output files, the execution options as well. You can also have a meta file option. That's selected the moment I click on Publish Metadata. The metadata file, that basically is going to describe inputs, outputs of the image, and their data models. And you can also specify publish parameters as well if you want to. Now at this point, you can publish your stream or you can export the data. You can do either one. The default is to export the data, but you could also publish the stream, and you can do that by just choosing Publish the Stream and then click on the Publish button. So that's an example of how you can use the flat file export node in Modeler.